Hindi na
Okay, live na po tayo. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday scripture studies. And I hope that we are all ready once again to study and ready to read. And I believe some of you are tired coming from work, and I hope our scripture studies will be a blessing to you, to give you comfort and understand more of our Creator and our Savior. So let's start with a singing verse. Let's sing the whole of Proverbs chapter 9. Ako magpapawit ngayon. Right? Are you ready? We got it. No, we don't have it yet. There you go. We have it on our screens. Ready? Wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars. She hath killed her beasts. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She had sent forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, come eat of my bread, drink of the wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh the wicked man getteth himself applause. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of Yahuwah, the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of Yahuwah, the fear of Yahuwah, and the knowledge of the Holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shall bear it. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the high places of the city, to call passengers who go right on their way. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither, and ask for him that wanteth understanding. She saith to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. Verse 10. The fear of Yahuwah, the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of Yahuwah, the fear of Yahuwah, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Amen. We got one chapter down, and I hope and pray that we can all memorize this singing chapter. And I'll go to Yahuwah in prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Abba, Father, Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our Elohim. Thank you, Father, for this evening that you have given us. Thank you, Father, for your faithfulness to our lives. Thank you, Father, for the breath. Thank you, Father, for giving us life today. And thank you for this time where we can once again study your scriptures. I pray, dear Father, that in everything that we will be reading, in everything that we will learn today, I pray that we will all put into perspective our lives, oh God, that we may understand that even in the Old Testament, you have planned everything already. And I just pray, dear Father, as we study Genesis chapter 11 and chapter 10, I pray that you will make us understand what is Babylon, what is Babel, and make us understand that this is something that we really need to know and to have a deeper study on it, oh God. And the roots of it are in Genesis chapter 11. So I just pray, dear Father, give Brother Gary wisdom and understanding as he tackles this chapter. And I pray, dear Father, please align his opinions to your scriptures. And I pray for each and everyone who will be listening tonight. I pray for wisdom. And I pray, Father, that we will all be united in what we'll be studying, and we can discuss further of what we learn, as we are all students of your word. And I pray, Father, for the family of June, my brother Gary's friend. I pray, dear Father, for his family, for comfort. And I pray, dear Father, that they will also come to the knowledge of the truth. And I pray, dear Father, please use us to be good examples of your word and be good testimonies of your word. And thank you, Yahuwah, for everything. And bless our evening together. And I give you all the glory and all the praise. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen. All right. Another song In Psalm 119, as you have heard 3 days ago, was that 3 days ago when I sent it to you in the last Shabbat? I hope and pray that you have suffered to listen to my voice, but more importantly, have gotten the tune of this, as I would like to share it with you. And I hope and pray that we can move forward with our Psalm 119 scripture songs. This is the newest of it. It's the Yad octave, as Brother Bien has said. It's the verse where the 8 verses of Yad. All right? It's like this. Thy hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding that I may learn thy commandments. They that fear thee will be glad when they see me, because I have hoped in thy word. I know, O Yahuwah, that thy judgments are right, and that thou in faithfulness hast afflicted me. Let I pray thee thy merciful kindness be for my comfort according to thy word unto thy servant. Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live. For thy law is my delight. Let the proud be ashamed. For they dealt perversely with me without a cause. But I will meditate in thy precepts. Let those that fear thee turn unto me, and those that have known thy testimonies. Let my heart be sound in thy statutes, that I be not ashamed. One more time, from the top. 73. Thy hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding that I may learn thy commandments. They that fear thee may be glad when they see me, because I have hoped in thy word. I know, O Yahuwah, that thy judgments are right, and that thou in faithfulness hast afflicted me. Let I pray thee thy merciful kindness be for my comfort according to thy word unto thy servant. Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live. For thy law is my delight. Let the proud be ashamed. For they dealt perversely with me without a cause. But I will meditate in thy precepts. And those that turn unto me, and those have known thy testimonies. Let my heart be sound in thy statutes, that I be not ashamed. Alright, so I hope and pray na kuha niyo po ang tono niyan, as I am still learning the tune of what I have nalagyan ng tono. So, actually, kanina nakuha ko na eh. Pero yun nga, pag, alam mo yun, kinakabahan pag live. hindi sanay. All right, so I hope and pray that we are all ready. Just a few announcements. Our scripture study will be on Wednesday, and Brother Gary will take care of that. He will do a continuation of our studies tonight, and then I'll take care of the Friday and the Saturday. All right, so I hope and pray that we all know the schedule. It's Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay? So yan lang po ang ating scripture study schedule. And Brother Gary, if you have a scripture reading, please let me know which one so we can actually we'll read Genesis chapter 10 and 11. Okay? So let's open our scriptures to Genesis chapter 10 and 11. Okay? Genesis chapter 10 and 11. Hahatiin po ni Brother Gary ang mundo. All right, I hope we're all ready. If you're there, I hope you can read from your scriptures. Just follow me with your eyes. And I will be sharing it also to the screen just for those who will be following us later on, who are in their journey or wherever they are. So Genesis chapter 10 and chapter 11. Okay, I hope we're all there. Verse 1 says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Yavan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarma, and the sons of Yavan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. Now, if you read this, some of these you will read later on when you read your scriptures. Some of these are places. By these were the isles of the Gentiles, Goyim, divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families in their nations, and the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Raamah, and Sabteka, and the sons of Raamah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Very important word there, means confusion. And Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah. And Resen between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naptuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistine, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvatite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, the firstborn of Noah, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash, and Arphaxad begat Canaan, and Canaan begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almudad, and Shelephet, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah, and Hadoram, and Uzal, and Dikla, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. And their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. Genesis chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahuwah came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And Yahuwah said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahuwah scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahuwah did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahuwah scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg, and 30 years, and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Yahuwah bless the reading of his word. And Brother Gary, you can take the floor.
All right. Good evening, brethren. Magandang gabi po sa mga bagong join. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And can I share my screen? All right. Nag-share screen na po ba ako?
Apa.
Alright. Okay, before we break the verses down, or yung buong chapter, let's sali po tayo manalangin. Father Yahuwah in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We praise and thank you, Father, sa gabing ito na muli makakapag-aral po kami ng inyong salita. And I pray, Father, na pangunahan niyo po ang inyong gawain. Kayo po yung madakila sa lahat ng ginagawa namin. Maitaas po ang inyong pangalan, Panginoon. I pray, Father, for your wisdom and understanding. Unang-unang po para sa akin na ma-share ko ng tama ang inyong salita, Panginoon. And kayo po yung magbigay ng tamang salita sa akin, Banal na Espiritu. And sa mga kapatid ko po na makikinig, I pray, Father, for the wisdom and understanding para sa kanila. Maunawaan po namin ang inyong mensahe sa gabing ito, Panginoon. And dahil, Panginoon, kung may mga kapatid kami na sa trabaho, I pray the Lord ang pag-iingat para sa kanila. And ilayo mo po sila sa mga karamdaman. And may mga kapatid kami, may mga kaibigan kami na may mga pinagdadaanan. I pray, Father, for the comfort para sa kanila, Panginoon. And dalangin ko, Panginoon, na lahat po ng ginagawa namin is naayon po sa inyong salita at napapapurihan ka po namin, Panginoon. Salamat po. May mga pagkakataon na nakakagawa kami ng mga kasalanan sa iyo, Panginoon. May mga pagkakamali kami nagagawa. Patawarin po kami. And ituro niyo po sa amin yung inyong batas, Panginoon, yung nais niyo sa buhay namin. Ang sa gayon, Panginoon, masunod po ito namin. Ito po ang aking dalangin sa pangalan ng iyong anak, si Yahushua. Amen. All right. So, good evening once again. As you can see in your screen, we're gonna go through with chapter 10 and chapter 11. But yung chapter 10 po, dadaanan lang natin siya. And by Wednesday is hihimay-himayin natin siya. All right? Now, let's dive in. And as per the scriptures, binasa natin sa chapter 10, makikita niyo po dyan yung mga descendant ni Japhet. Genesis chapter 10, verse 2, I'll read hanggang 5. The sons of Japhet, Gomer, Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyras. And the sons of Gomer, Askenaz, and Rephat, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By this were the isles of the Gentiles divided, and their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nation. So yan po yung descendant ni Japhet. Alright? And makita nyo rin po yung word na Gentiles dyan. Okay? Now, on Ham's descendant, alright, in Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 until 12, ang sabi po ng scriptures, and the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim, and Put and Canaan. So take note yung mga pangalan kasi pag binalikan po natin yan is maiintindihan natin na yung mga pangalan na yan is tumutukoy sa mga lugar. Alright? Katulad po yung sa verse 6, naka-highlight po yung Mizraim and Canaan. Mizraim is Egypt. Kaya nga po kung may mga, for sure may mga kakilala kayong mga Egyptian, may mga kaibigan kayong Egyptian, ang tawag sa kanila is, lalo na po rito sa Saudi Arabia, ang tawag sa kanila ay mga Masri. Okay. Actually, they hate each other. Ayoko sa mga Masri, ganun po yung maririnig mo sa kanila. Okay? But it comes from here, from Mizraim. So Masri is Egypt. And Canaan is, definitely alam na pa dapat natin yung Canaan. Canaan is Israel. Right? On verse 7, and the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Rama, and Sabtika, and the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. All right, so another name there, Nimrod. Okay, yan po yung dadaanan natin sa chapter 11. Okay, he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Okay? And Eric and Akkad and Calneh in the land of Shinar. I hope na nakikita nyo po ng medyo malaki yung text. Verse 11, kung hindi po, sundan nyo na lang po sa inyo mga scriptures. Out of the hand, verse 11, and out of that land went forth Ashur and builded Nineveh and the city of Rehoboth and Kala. So familiar din po yung lugar ng Nineveh. Kasi if you know the story of Jonah, all right, that is the place. Okay? And verse is a great city. All right? And continuation ng lahi ni Ham, and Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Napsuhim, and Patrusim, and Kasluhim, out of whom came Philistim, and Captorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Het. So kung familiar po tayo, yung Sidon po, makikita nyo rin sa scriptures natin yan, yung Tyre and Sidon, nababanggit po yan sa scriptures. Alright, nabanggit po yan ng Panginoong Yahushua, the Tyre and Sidon, it comes from Canaan. Alright? And who else? And the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Girgasites, the Hivites, and the Arkite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zamarite, the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of Canaanites spread abroad. So yung mga lahi po na mga yan is binabanggit po ng pinangako ng Panginoon yung land na yan kay Abraham, that he will give this land and i-cast out yung mga lahi na yan. Alright? And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as thou comest to Gerar and to Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. Those are the descendants of Ham. What about the descendants of Shem? Alright. The descendant of Shem, in verse 22 until 30, the children of Shem, Elam and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gerar, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. So kung may mga kaibigan kayong surname is Salah, familiar po, kasi marami kaming, in fact, yung mga boss namin dito, is, yung mga surname is Salah. Alright, so most probably dito sila nanggaling. Right, and begat Eber. And verse 25, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. All right, so take note yung verse 25. Ang sabi po ng scriptures, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg. Peleg means division. Okay? Peleg means division. So, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. It was on the time of Peleg na hinati po yung, hindi po yung Israel, hindi po yung Middle East, is sa scripture ang sinasabi, it was the time of Peleg that the earth, the whole world, was divided. Alright? Verse 26, and Joktan begat Almodad, and Shelef, and Hazarmavet, and Jera, and Hadoram, and Uzal, and Dikla, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba. And verse 29, take note din po yung lugar na to. And Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab, all these were the sons of Joktan. So yung may mga highlight po, yung mga ibang color is, tandaan po natin yung mga lugar na yan, or yung mga pangalan na yan, because basically, malaking part yung mga pangalan na yan sa pag-aaralan natin. Alright? And their dwelling was from Mesa as thou goest, and to Separ, amount of the east. Alright. So, basically, yung tatlo na yon, yun po yung hatian. Yun yung tatlong descendants ni Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth. Alright? Now, let's go a parallel verses or chapters sa book of Jubilees. Kasi dito po natin makikita yung kung paano nahati yung do. Alright, so Jubilees chapter 8. Nakikita ba ito, sir? Alright. I'll start reading on verse 8. Jubilees chapter 8, verse 8. Ang sabi po ng scriptures, or ang sabi po ng book of Jubilees, if you don't want to take it as a canon book, ang sabi po ng book of Jubilees sa chapter 8, verse 8, in the 6th year, that is 1567, ano po yung AM? Morning, Anno Mundi. Okay, Anno Mundi. All right, it is 1567 years after creation, thereof she bare him a son, and he called his name Peleg. So nakita niyo po rito yung pangalan ni Peleg, kaya pinapaalala ko sa inyo kanina yung mga verses na yan. All right, for in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth among themselves. For this reason, he called his name Peleg. All right, verse 9, and they divided it secretly among themselves and told it to Noah. And it came to pass in the beginning of the third year Jubilee, it's in 1,569 years after creation, that they divided the earth into 3 parts. So yung sa time po ni Shem, Ham, and Japhet, nung pinanganak si Peleg, is they divided the earth for Shem, Ham, and Japhet according to the inheritance of each in the first year, in the first week, when one of us who had been sent was with them. Sino yung when one of us na sinasabi rito sa Book of Jubilees? It is the angel na kausap po ni Moses. All right? And he called his sons, and they drew nigh to him. Who called his sons? It is Noah. Sorry. Okay. And he called his sons. Who is he in here? It is Noah. All right. And they draw nigh to him, they and their children, and he divided the earth into the lots, which his 3 sons were to take in possession. And they reached forth their hands and took the writing out of the bosom of Noah, their father. And there came forth in the writing a Shem's lot, the middle of the earth, which he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons for the generation of eternity, from the middle of the mountain range of Rapha. Okay? So by Wednesday, itatakel natin ito, yung hatian nila. But for this time, basahin lang po muna natin. But for Shem's lot, yung parte po, yung territory ni Shem, is magsisimula sa middle of the earth. Alright? It is from the middle of the earth. Now, paano natin ma-determine kung saan yung middle of the earth? Okay? But take note here, ang nagbigay ng inheritance or nagbigay ng territory is ang tatay nilang, si Noah. So take note kung ano yung wisdom ni Noah when he divided the earth na binigay niya po sa kanyang 3 anak. All right? From the mouth of the water, from the river Tina, and this portion goes toward the west, through the midst of this river, and it extends till it reaches the water of the abysses. Abysses is simply a deep, out of which this river goes forth and pours its waters into the sea Meath, and this river flows in the Great Sea, and all this towards the north is Japhet, all right? Yung pa-north is Japhet, and all this is towards south belongs to Shem. And it extends till it reaches Carasso. You all know by Wednesday what is Carasso. This is in the bosom of town which looks toward the south. And its portion extend along the Great Sea and extend in the straight line till it reaches the west of the tongue which looks toward the south. For this sea is named the tongue of the Egyptian sea. All right, ito po ha. I'll go until verse chapter 9. And it turns from here toward the south, towards the mouth of the Great Sea, on the shore of its waters, and it extends to the west to Afra. All right, take note yung word na Afra. That means Afra. What continent is that? That means Africa. All right, and extends till it reaches the waters of River Gihon, and to the south of the waters Gihon, to the banks of this river, and it extends towards the east till it reaches the Garden of Eden. Wow. Wow. So we will know where is the Garden of Eden. Let's pray for that. Let's pray for that. All right. To the south thereof, to the south and from the east of the whole land of Eden and of the whole east, it turns to the east and proceeds till it reaches the east of the mountain named Rapha, and it descends to the bank of the mount of river Tina. Verse 17. This portion came forth by lot for Shem. So those Garden of Eden belongs to Shem. It belongs to Shem. This portion came forth by lot for Shem and his sons, that they should possess it forever and to his generation forevermore. So pag natapos po natin yung pag-aaral na to, yung 10 and 11 in Genesis, I hope pa na makita natin saan tayo nanggaling. Okay? Kaninong anak ni Noah tayo nanggaling? You either came from Shem, from Noah, or from Japhet. Dito po natin makikita. Verse 18, and Noah rejoiced that this portion came forth for Shem and for his sons, and he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy, for he had said, blessed be Yahuwah Elohim of Shem, and may Adonai dwell in the dwelling of Shem. So Shem got the Garden of Eden, okay? And ito po yung sinabi ni Noah na he blessed Shem, that the dwelling that will go to Shem will be the dwelling place of Yahuwah. All right, verse 19. And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies, the dwelling of Elohim, the dwelling of Adonai, and Mount Sinai, the center of the desert, and Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth. All right. So may mga pinapakita sa atin ditong mga word kung ano yung reference natin sa paghahati ng mundo ng magkakapatid, kasama po si Noah ng tatay nila. These three were created as holy places facing each other. So take note, the Garden of Eden, the Mount Sinai po is nandito po sa lugar namin sa Saudi Arabia. All right? It is not in Egypt. All right? Mount Sinai is here in Saudi Arabia. Ang sabi, yung Garden of Eden, yung Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion, ang sabi ng Scripture, ang sabi po ng Jubilees, these three were created as holy places facing each other. So ayun yung palatandaan, they face each other. All right? And take note, Mount Zion, okay, ang alam po natin, Mount Zion is nasa Israel. It's Mount Zion in the sides of the north. All right? But here, in this passage, sinasabi, Mount Zion is the center of the navel of the earth. Mount Zion is the center of the earth. So may clue tayo kung saan natin hahanapin yung Mount Zion kasi ang sabi ng Scriptures, it is, sabi ng Jubilees, it is in the center. All right? And he blessed Elohim of small gods, small g, gods who have put the word of Adonai into his mouth, and Adonai forevermore. And he knew that a blessed portion and a blessing had come to Shem, and his sons unto the generation forever, the whole land of Eden. All right, take note, the whole land of Eden. So is the Garden of Eden and the whole land of Eden is different? Malalaman po natin yan. Is the Garden of Eden and the whole land of Eden is the same or different? All right, I'll continue. And the whole land of the Red Sea po is nandito po sa aming area sa Saudi Arabia, and the whole land of the East and India. Oops, nakita niyo po yung lugar ng India. And in the Red Sea and the mountains thereof, and all the land of Bashan, and all the land of Lebanon, and of the land of Kaftur, and all the mountains of Sanir and the Mane, and the mountains of Ashur in the north, and all the land of Elam, Ashur, and Babel, all right, which is si Nimrod ang sinasabi ng Scriptures natin sa Genesis, na si Nimrod ang pinuno dyan, and Susan, and Maidai, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region behind the sea, which is beyond the mountains of Ashur, towards the north, a blessed and spacious land, and all that is in it is very good. Those lands belongs to Shem. And this is for Ham. For Ham came forth the second portion behind the Gihon towards the south, to the right of the garden. And it extends towards the south, and it extends to all the mountains of fire, and it extends towards the west to the Sea of Atel, and it extends toward the west till it reaches the Sea of Ma'uk. That sea into which everything which is not destroyed descends. And it goes forth towards the north of the limits of Gader, and goes forth to the coast of the waters of the sea, to the waters of the great sea, till it draws near to the river Gihon, and goes along the river Gihon till it reaches the right of the Garden of Eden. So take note, pag binalikan nyo po yung creation, nung time na ginawa ng Panginoon yung mundo, makikita nyo yung mga river na to. River Gihon, River Pison, and River Euphrates, River Tigris. So nakikita nyo rin po dito sa Jubilees. Alright? And this is the land which came forth for Ham as the portion which he was to occupy forever for himself and his sons and to their generations forever. And for Japheth came forth the third portion behind the river Tina to the north of the outflow of its waters, and extend northeasterly to the whole region of Gog and to all the country east thereof. So this is the territory of Japheth. And it extends northerly to the north, and extends the mountains of Kiel towards the north, and towards the Sea of Ma'ok, and it goes forth to the east of Gader as far as the region of the waters of the sea, and extends until it approaches the west of Farah, and it returns towards Aphirag, and extends easterly to the waters of the Sea of Miat, and it extends to the region of the river Tina in a northeasterly direction, until it approaches the boundary of its waters towards the mountain Rapha, and it turns round towards the north. This is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as the portion of his inheritance, which he should possess for himself and his sons for their generations forever. All right? 5 great islands and a great land in the north. So take note po yung 5 great islands. All right? Kung may mga access po tayo sa internet na for sure meron po kasi nakakasama namin kayo ngayon. So search out those 5 great islands. And makikita nyo po, it belongs to Japheth. All right? On the last verse, verse 30, but it is cold and the land of Ham is hot. The land of Japheth is cold. Malamig po. May mga snow. All right? And the land of Ham is hot. Kaya sabi ko po sa inyo kanina, yung Egypt, right, is part of Ham. Okay? Part po siya ng Ham. And yung Africa is part po siya ng Ham. Kaya sinabi niya rito, the land of Ham is hot. And the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is of blended cold and heat. So yung land ni Shem is may tag-araw, may tag-init. Okay? Ito tag-araw, tag-init, parehas lang pala yun. may tag-ulan, tsaka tag-init. So familiar po yung, I hope na familiar po yung weather natin sa Pilipinas na taglamig tsaka tag-init. So that belongs to Shem. All right, I'll continue on Jubilees chapter 9. And Ham divided among his sons, and the first portion came forth for Cush towards the east, and to the west of him for Misrim. Misrim again is Egypt. And to the west of him for Put, and to the west of him and the west thereof on the sea for Canaan. So Canaan is the son of Ham. Okay? And Shem also divided among his sons, and the first portion came forth for Ham and his sons to the east of the river Tigris, till it approaches the east, the whole land of India. So Shem, India is for Shem. And on the Red Sea on its coast, and the waters of Dedan, and all the mountains of Mebre and Elah, and all the land of Susan, and all that is on the side of Parnak to the Red Sea, and to the river Tina. I hope you don't miss yung pag-aaral natin, yung scripture study natin by Wednesday, kasi i-layout po natin itong mga lugar na to. And for Ashur came forth the second portion, all the land of Ashur, and Nineveh, and Shinar, and to the border of India, and it ascends and skirts the river. Yung Shinar po, that is where Babel is. Okay? And for Arphaxad, iba po yung spelling dito, but it is Arphaxad. Okay? Came forth the third portion, all the land of the region of Chaldes, to the east of Euphrates, bordering on the Red Sea, and all the waters of the desert close to the tongue of the sea, which looks toward Egypt, all the land of Lebanon and Sanir and Amana to the border of Euphrates. Para po kanino yan? Kay Arphaxad. Alright, so nakita nyo yung lugar na Chaldes. Alright, so if you remember, Abraham and Terah is from where? From the land of Ur in Chaldes. Land of Ur or land of Uz? Alright, I'll go back on that. All right, I'll continue. Verse 5, and for Aram they came forth, the fourth portion, all the land of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates, to the north of the Chaldees, to the border of the mountains of Ashur, and to the land of Ararat. And there came forth for Lud the fifth portion, the mountains of Ashur, and all appertaining to them, till it reaches the great sea, until it reaches the east of Ashur, his brother. And Japheth also divided the land of his inheritance among his sons. The first portion came forth for Gomer to the east, from the north side to the river Tina, and in the north there came forth for Magog, and all the inner portion of the north, until it reaches to the sea of Medes. So take note, it is in the time of Peleg, na nakita nyo, naghahati-hati, pinaghatian nila yung mundo. Parang ang sarap na naghahati-hati sila sa mundo. And for Madai came forth as his portion that he should possess from the west of his two brothers to the island and to the coast of the island. And for Javan came forth the fourth portion every island, and the islands which are towards the border of Lud. And for Tubal there came forth the fifth portion in the midst of the tongue, which approaches towards the border of the portion of Lud, to the second tongue, to the region behind the second tongue, and to the third tongue. And for Meshech came forth the sixth portion of the region beyond the third tongue, till it approaches the east of Gader. And for Tyrus there came forth the seventh portion, 4 great islands in the midst of the sea, which reached to the portion of Ham, and in the islands of Kamaturi came out by the lot for the sons of Arphaxad as his inheritance. I'll stop there. I'll go back po sa ating presentation. All right. So, those things na binasa natin, na hatian ng mundo is nangyari, it happens nung panahon ni Peleg. Okay? And he called his name Peleg, for in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth amongst themselves. For this reason, he called his name Peleg. All right. And pagbabalik tayo sa Jubilees, ang sabi po ng Jubilees, chapter 9, verse 14 and 15, sa last pababa na po yun, ito po ang sabi ng Jubilees. And thus the sons of Noah divided unto their sons in the presence of Noah, their father, and he bound them all by an oath. So, merong kasunduan yung tatlo. Alright? Andyan si Noah, and he bound them all by an oath, imprecating a curse on everyone that sought to seize the portion which had not fallen to him by his lot. Hindi nila pwedeng agawin yung territory ng ibang mga kapatid nila. Kung ano yung bumaksak sa kanila or kung ano yung naipamahagi sa kanila, that should be their territory. All right? And they all said, so be it, so be it. Okay, agreed. Okay, agreed. Mga muskila. Okay? So, and they all said, so be it, for themselves and their sons forever throughout their generation, till the day of judgment, on which Adonai Elohim, Adonai God shall judge them with the sword and with fire for all the unclean wickedness of their errors, wherewith they have filled the earth with transgression and uncleanness and fornication and sin. All right. Now, I'll go to Jubilees chapter 10. All right? Kasi makikita niyo po rito, the last part ng Jubilees chapter 9, ang sabi po ng magkakapatid, walang problema. All right? So, kung ano yung pumasok sa akin, kung ano yung naibigay sa akin, I will conquer, not conquer, but I will be in that land. Pero sa Jubilees chapter 10, ito po ang nangyari. I'll start on 27. Okay? Ang sabi po ng Jubilees chapter 10 verse 27, in the fourth week in the first year, that is 1688 after creation, Anno Mundi, in the beginning thereof, in the 34th Jubilee, where they dispersed from the land of Shinar. And Ham and his sons went into the land which he was to occupy. So yung lahi ni Ham, all right, they went into the land na kung saan is para sa kanila, which he acquired as his portion in the land of the south. And Canaan, who is the son of Ham, sold the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt. So from kung nasa Mediterranean Sea po kayo, the land of Lebanon is on the left side and the land of Egypt is on the right side. Pag nandito naman kayo sa Saudi, it is on the right side, baliktad lang po. That it was very good. And he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea. Ang sabi po ng scripture kanina, or ng Jubilees chapter 9 kanina, okay, kung ano yung para sa amin, dun kami. Pero pagdating po dito sa Jubilees chapter 10, makita nyo, ang sabi po is, and Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt, that it was very good. Maganda yung lupain. And he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea. Ano ang inheritance ni Canaan? Alright, para po sa land ni Ham, nag-start yung inheritance niya sa Egypt. Pero nakita niya yung Lebanon na maganda. Okay? And he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward, from the border of Jordan and from the border of the sea. Alright. So nakita niyo po rito, sa umpisa pa lang, nag-aagawan na ng lupa. So yung mga nag-aagawan ng lupa ngayon, sa panahon natin, hindi ho siya bago. There is nothing new under the sun, mga kapatid. Alright? There is nothing new under the sun. Sa panahon pa lang ni Noah, magkapatid, nag-aaway sa lupa. Alright? 30. And Ham his father and Cush and Mizraim his brother said unto him, Thou hast settled in a land which is not thine, and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not do so. Huwag mong gagawin. For if thou dost do so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land and be accursed. Bakit? May oath sila. Kasi yun po yung ginawa nila sa binasa natin kanina, na may oath sila na hindi nila agawin yung lupa ng isa't isa. And be accursed through sedition, for by sedition ye have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted up forever. Ang oath nila is wag kang mangagaw ng lupa because you will be rooted out in that land kasi hindi yan para sa iyo. Dwell not in the dwelling of Shem, for to Shem and to his sons did it come by their lot. So yung Lebanon and yung Jordan, right? And basically yung Israel today, which is Canaan in the time of Abraham, in Isaac and Jacob, okay? It is for Shem. Pero inagaw nito ni Canaan na anak ni Ham. Cursed art thou, and cursed shalt thou be beyond all the sons of Noah, by the curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the holy judge and in the presence of Noah, our father. And take note, verse 33, he did not hearken unto them. Hindi siya nakinig. And dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to the entering of Egypt. If you'll start from Lebanon and to the entering of Egypt, that will masasakaw po niyan yung land of Israel sa gitna. And his sons until this day. And for this reason, that land is named Canaan. I'll stop there. All right. So, nakita ninyo sa Jubilees chapter 10, verse 27 hanggang 34, na yung land of Canaan, it occupies by Ham, by sons of Ham, which is Canaan. Kasama po doon yung promised land, which belongs to Shem. Alright. So, meron akong konting mapa rito. Hanapin nyo na lang po kung nasaan kayo dyan. Okay? Kami po is nandito sa Red Sea. Nandito kami sa Jeddah. Okay? Ito po, kung nakikita nyo yung cursor ko. Ay, hindi kayo inabot. Sorry po. Nandito kami sa Red Sea. Nandito kami sa Jeddah ngayon. Alright? So, sinasabi ng binasa natin sa Jubilees, Lebanon in here, alright? And Canaan, which is present Israel, is inoccupy ni Canaan na anak ni Ham. But it belongs to Shem. Kasi ang kay Ham nandito pa po sa Egypt. Okay? Ang lugar ni Ham is Africa and Egypt is part of that. Okay? Na mainit. Alright? Kay Shem, dapat yung Canaan in Lebanon. Now, go to Genesis chapter 17. Okay? Please turn the scriptures in Genesis chapter 17. So I hope na nasusundan niyo po yung hatian. Alam ko malaki yung pinaghahatian natin ngayon, pero please bear with us. Okay? Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. I'll start on verse 1. Sabi po ng scriptures, and when Abraham was 90 years old and 99, Yahuwah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and Elohim took with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. This is the covenant for Abraham. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abraham, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be an Elohim unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan. Alright? So nakikita niyo po sa screen nyo, ang sabi po ng scriptures, verse 8, and I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim. So pinangako kay Abraham ng Panginoong Yahuwah, I will give you the land of Canaan. Alright, now, in order for Abraham to be, para po mapunta sa kanya yung land of Canaan, he should be from the lineage of Shem. Kasi ang Canaan is para dapat kay Shem na kinuha ngayon ni Canaan na anak ni Ham. Alright. Genesis chapter 11, yung binasa po natin kanina. Yung almost in the last part. Verse 10. Sabi po ng scriptures, these are the generation of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood, and Shem lived after begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. I'll jump on verse 19. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug, and Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor, and Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah, and Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. So Abraham is from the descendants of Shem. Kaya binigay sa kanyang promised land or yung Canaan, it's because para naman po talaga kay Shem yan. Hindi po yan para kay Ham. Alright? Kasi sa original na distribution ng territory, it is for the land. It is for Shem. Hindi po para kay Ham. Okay? So, yan po yung hatian ng mundo. And I hope and pray na makasama namin kayo by Wednesday to have a clear picture ng mga pangalan ng mga lugar. Alright? Now, let's go sa next chapter, Genesis chapter 11. Alright. Genesis chapter 11, makikita natin dyan yung story ng Tower of Babel. Okay, I'll read verse 1. Sabi ng scriptures, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found them plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. So take note yung verse 3, sabi ng scriptures, and they said one to another, go to, let us make a brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had there for mortar. And verse 4, and they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. So ano ang ginawa? Ang sabi po ng scriptures, magkaisa yung mga tao, gawa tayo ng tower whose top may reach unto heaven, which is definitely they cannot. Okay? It depends kung anong heaven, even if it's the first heaven, hindi kayo makakarating dyan. Alright? Hindi nila magagawa yung tower na yan. And ang sabi ng scriptures, and let us make us a name. So nakita nyo po yung pagre-rebelde ng tao. Gawa tayo ng sarili nating pangalan. Okay? Gawa tayo ng sarili nating pangalan. Lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. But take note, ano po ang utos ng Panginoong Yahuwah? Kasi ang sabi niya rito sa last phrase, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Here's the command. Go back to Genesis chapter 9. Nandiyan po sa mga screen nyo. Okay? Ang command ng Panginoong Yahuwah, verse 1, and Elohim blessed Noah and his sons, and he said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. Okay? Not replenish one area. They replenish the earth, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast and of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. So basically, sinasabi ng Panginoong Yahuwah, take care of my creation. Yung buong mundo na ginawa ko, ingatan ninyo, kayo ang mamahala. Pero ang nangyayari rito sa Genesis chapter 11, they want to make a tower, and they want to make their name, kasi ang sabi ng scriptures, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Ayaw nilang maghiwa-hiwalay. Gusto nila close lang sila. Alright. The command is replenish the earth. Alright. And nabasa natin sa Genesis chapter 10, who is the leader of that kingdom. Yung gumagawa po ng Tower of Babel, sino ang leader na? And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahuwah, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. So, sinasabi ng scriptures, the leader of that kingdom ng tinatayo yung Tower of Babel is Nimrod. Alright? It is Nimrod. And I'm looking forward na ma-explain po sa inyo lahat kung sino si Nimrod. Sa ibang topic po natin yan, and I hope po na magkakasama tayo na kilalanin kung sino si Nimrod because he is definitely not a good king or hindi siya maayos na leader. Kasi makita nyo pa rito na sa una pa lang, goods na yan gumawa ng sarili niyang pangalan. Alright? And just to give you a hint, sino si Nimrod? Kung kilala niyo po si Terah, Terah is the father of Abraham. Alright? Terah is serving Nimrod. So, kung si Terah is nagsiserve kay Nimrod na gustong gumawa ng sarili niyang pangalan, basically, he is serving a wicked king or a wicked leader in this time. Okay? Alright. I'll go on. Baka ako ano pang sabi ko. Okay. Babel or Babylon. Alright. Ito po yung meaning niya sa Strong's. Sa Concordance. Babel means confusion. It occupies the Babylonian or the Babylon Empire. Alright. Now let's go sa kung ano yung lugar na to. Kung ano yung bansa na to. Okay, yung nasa sakupan ng Babel na yan. Alright. Babel means confusion. Ang leader nila si Nimrod. And ito sa panahon ni Daniel. Let's go to Daniel chapter 3. Makikita niyo po dyan kung ano yung lugar na yan. Daniel chapter 3. I'll read on your screen. Nebuchadnezzar, the king made an image of gold whose height was 80 cubits and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. So from that Babel, ito si King Nebuchadnezzar, na hari ng Babylon, ay nagtayo ng isang image of gold. So basically, is mga ribulto-ribulto. If you know the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, this is here. On Dan chapter 3. And whose falleth not down and worship it shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So sa umpisa pa lang, yung Babylon area or yung Babel is nagre-rebelde sa Panginoon. Alright? So hindi sumusunod sa utos ng Panginoon. Okay? They want to put a name in their own, and in here, si King Nebuchadnezzar is gumagawa ng Diyosan or ng image or ng mga rebulto. Okay? So you can picture out that Babylon is not a good place. Hindi po sila sumusunod sa Panginoon. Alright. What else? Tingnan po natin sa Isaiah chapter 47. Ano pa yung mga ginagawa sa loob ng Babylon, sa lugar na yan? Isaiah chapter 47. I'll read verse 1. Ang sabi po ng scriptures, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Babylon, naalala ko tuloy si Sir Mark. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal, and cover thy locks, make bare the leg, and cover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. Alright? Sabi po ng scriptures, dahil itong Babylon na to, I will take vengeance. Ang sabi po ng Panginoon. Okay? As for our Redeemer, Yahuwah of hosts is his name, and Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. So basically, sinasabi rito, mayayabang kayo, all right? You don't regard or hindi nyo, wala kayong takot sa Panginoon. All right, you're saying that you are the lady of the kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient has thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. So sinasabi ng Panginoon, binigyan ko ng lesson yung bride ko, yung Israel. Pero inabuso nyo. All right? Masyado niyong pinahirapan. Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. All right, basically, Babylon is proud. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thy enchantment. So nakita niyo sa Babylon, may mga anting-anting siguro sila rito. Mahilig sila sa sorcery. All right? The multitude of thy sorcerers, and for the great abundance of thy enchantments, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none see me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So basically, nakita niyo po sa binabasa natin that this country or this specific place is a wicked area. All right? Go to Revelation chapter 17. Revelation chapter 17. Malapit lang po yan sa 18. Joke lang po. Revelation chapter 17. Revelation chapter 17, I read verse 1 to 5. Sabi po ng scriptures, and there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show you unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth had been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having seven heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. And in verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. All right? Every time na mababasa natin yan, yung word na yan, yung harlot or yung adultery, okay? It talks about spiritual adultery. Yung sinasamba mo is hindi yung totoong Diyos or gumagawa ka ng mga Diyos-Diyosan na yun yung sinasamba mo. So ito po yung sinasabi niya sa verse 5. Upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. Let's go on next chapter. Chapter 18. I'll read verse 1. Sabi po ng scriptures, and after these things I saw another angel came down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So, makikita nyo rito kung gaano kasama yung lugar na to. Alright? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Remember our lesson? You drink of the wine of Babylon somehow? I hope and pray na hindi tayo nagpapatuloy sa ganito. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Come out. Lumabas kayo dyan sa Babylon. Alright? come out from that. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Elohim hath remembered her iniquities, reward her heaven, even as she rewarded you, a double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. I'll go in verse 24. Ang sabi po ng scriptures, I'll jump on the last verse. Sabi ng scripture, and her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. So basahin nyo na lang po yung buong chapter ng chapter 18 ng Revelation. Makikita nyo po dyan yung pagbaksak ng Babylon. Now, the next question would be, where is Babylon now? All right? Babylon was in the time of Nimrod. It was in the land of Shinar. Okay? Okay, now, where is Babylon right now? Go to 1 Peter. I think naipaliwanag ko nito last time. And I'll already give you a hint kung nasaan yung Babylon. 1 Peter chapter 5. Sa last 1 Peter chapter 5. Verse 13. Sabi po ng scriptures, this is Peter saying, sabi niya, the church that is at Babylon, elected together with you, saluted you, and those so that Marcos, my son. All right, so hanapin nyo kung nasaan, all right? Hanapin nyo kung nasaan si Peter when he wrote this book. And makikita nyo kung nasaan na yun yung Babylon. All right? The church that is at Babylon, elected together with you, saluted you, and so do that Marcos, my son. So, do a little research and hanapin nyo kung nasaan po si Pedro during this time. And sabi niya, yung simbahan dito sa Babylon is binabati kayo. And you will see where is Babylon right now. All right? Now, let's go back sa ating pinag-aaralan. I hope and pray na nakita nyo kung ano yung Babylon, kung sino ang Babylon, kung anong lugar, anong klaseng lugar yung Babylon at kung paano nag-umpisa yung wickedness sa lugar na yan. Alright? Let's go sa ating pinag-aaralan, chapter 11 ng Genesis. And I'll continue on verse 10. Ito na po yung descendants ni Ham na binasa natin kanina. I'll go direct on 27. Verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. All right, in land of Ur. Okay, si Abraham and Terah is from the land of Ur. Verse 29, and Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the sons of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go in the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. So papunta sila sa land of Canaan, but they stay first in the land of Haran. Okay? And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Now, let's go sa Book of Jubilees para mas makita po natin ito. Kung ano ang nangyari. Jubilees chapter 11. And in the 35th Jubilee, in the third week in the first year, 1681 after creation, thereof Reu took himself a wife, and her name was Orah, the daughter of Ur, the son of Kesed, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Zero, in the 7th year of this week in this Jubilee. So saan nanggaling yung land of Ur and Chaldees? Dito po nanggaling yon, the daughter of Ur. And the sons of Noah began to war on each other, to take captive and to slay each other. Ayan na po. Panahon pa lang nag-aaway na sila, panahon pa lang ni Noah. And to shed the blood of men on the earth, and to eat blood, and to build strong cities and walls and towers, and individuals began to exalt themselves above the nation, and to found the beginnings of kingdoms, and to go to war, people against people, nation against nation, city against city, and all began to do evil and to acquire arms and to teach their sons war, and they began to capture cities and to sell male and female slaves. So it was this time na nag-aaway-away na yung mga tao. Alright? And nung nabasa natin last time, bawal kumain ng dugo. Alright? But here, ang sabi ng scriptures, they start eating blood in here. Verse 3, and Ur, the son of Kesed, built the city of Ar of the Chaldees, and called its name after his own name, of the name of his father. And they made for themselves molten images, and they worshipped its the idol, and the molten image which they had made for themselves. And they began to make graven images, and unclean simulacra, and malignant spirits assisted and seduced them in the committing transgression and uncleanness. And the prince Mastema, this is a new name, Mastema. Hindi to bago sa atin na napakinggan na po ito natin kay preacher. Who is this Mastema? It is Hazatan. It is Satan. And the prince Mastema excited himself to do all this, and he sent forth other spirits, those which were put under his hand, to do all manner of wrong unseen, and all manner of transgression, to corrupt and destroy, and to shed blood upon the earth. All right? Remember the 10% na naiwan kay Mastema? At yung 90% is naghihintay ngayon ng judgment. All right, these are the fallen angels, or ito yung mga group ni Mastema. For this reason, he called the name of 00. For everyone turned to do all manner of sin and transgression. And he grew up and dwelt in Ur of the Chaldees, near to the father of his wife mother, and he worshipped idols, and he took to himself a wife in the 36th Jubilee in the 5th week, in the first year thereof. And her name was Melcha, the daughter of Kaber, the daughter of his father's brother. And she bare him Nahor in the first year of this week. And he grew and dwelt in Ur of Chaldees. And his father taught him the researches of the Chaldees to divine and augur according to the signs of the heaven. I'll continue. In the 37th Jubilee in the 6 weeks, in the first year thereof, he took to himself a wife, and her name was Ajaska, the daughter of Nestag of the Chaldees. So, makikita niyo po rito sa Book of Jubilees, yung mga pangalan ng mga asawa. But in Genesis, it's more on sa mga lalaki yung emphasis. Pero dito, it's laid down properly kung sino yung mga naging asawa nila. And she bare him Terah in the 7th year of this week. Okay? So, Nahor bare him Terah. And the prince Mastema sent ravens and birds to devour the seed, which was sown in the land, in order to destroy the land and rob the children of men their labors before they could plow in the seed, and ravens picked it from the surface of the ground. And for this reason, he called his name Terah, because the ravens and the birds reduced them to destitution and devoured their seed, and the years began to be barren, owing to the birds, and they devoured all the fruit of the trees from the trees. It was only with great effort that they could save a little of all the fruit of the earth in their days. So, napakagandang story po. Okay? Na nagtatanim sila, pero kinakain lang ng mga ravens, ng mga ibon, yung mga buto na tinatanim nila. And in this 39th Jubilee, in the 2nd week in the 1st year, Terah took to himself a wife, and her name was Edna. I think nabasa na natin to. Alright? The daughter of Abram, the daughter of his father's sister. In the 7th year of this week, she bare him a son, and he called his name Abram, by the name of the father of his mother. So take note, yung pangalan ni Abram is nanggaling doon sa pangalan ng lolo niya, the daughter of Abram. Okay? For he had died before his daughter had conceived and son. 15. And the child began to understand the errors of the earth. Whose child is that? It is Abraham. All right? He understands the errors of the earth, that all went astray after graven images and after uncleanness. And his father taught him writing, and he was 2 weeks years old, and he separated himself from his father, that he might not worship idols with him. So sa simula pa lang, inihihiwalay na ni Abraham yung kanyang sarili sa kanyang tatay na nagsumasamba sa mga Diyos-Diyosan. Alright? Or sa mga idols, sa mga graven images. And he began to pray to the Creator of all things, that he might save him from the errors of the children of men, and that his portion should not fall into error after uncleanness and vileness. And the seed time came forth to the sowing of seed upon the land, and they all went forth together to protect their seed against the ravens. And Abraham went forth with those that went, and the child was a lad of 14 years. And a cloud of ravens came to devour the seed, and Abraham ran to meet them before they settled on the ground, and cried to them before they settled on the ground to devour the seed, and said, descend not, return to the place whence she came, and they proceeded to turn back. So, si Abraham yung unang, ang tawag dun sa pagbabantay sa palayan. Alright? So, sabi niya is, kung satsang sa atin pa is, siya yung nagtataboy ng mga ravens, ng mga ibon. Okay? And he caused the clouds of ravens to turn back that day 70 times. And although the ravens throw out all the land where Abraham was there settled there, not so much as one. And all who were with him throughout all the land saw him cry out, and all the ravens turned back, and his name became great in all the land of Chaldees. And there came to him this year all those that wished to sow, and he went with them until the time of sowing ceased, and they sowed their land, and that year they brought enough grain home and eat and were satisfied. So basically, naging famous si Abraham dahil sa ginagawa niya. Okay, nakilala siya sa lugar na yon. And in the first year of the 5th week, Abraham taught those who made implements for oxen, the artificers in wood, and they made the vessels above the ground facing the frame of the flow in order to put the seed thereon. And the seed fell down therefrom upon the share of the flow and was hidden in the earth, and they no longer feared the ravens. So, si Abraham ang nagturo ng pagtatanim, ng paglalagay ng buto sa ilalim ng lupa. Kasi, kung titingnan nyo, sa taas, they just, parang sinashower lang nila. Nilalatag lang nila yung mga buto, tapos bumababa yung mga ibon kinakain. But in here, tinuruan sila ni Abraham na ibaon nyo sa lupa. And after this manner, they made vessels above the ground on all the frames of the flow, and they sowed and tilled all the land according as Abraham commanded them, and they no longer feared the birds. I'll continue on 12. And it came to pass in the 6th week, in the 7th year thereof, that Abraham said to Terah, his father, saying, tapusin ko lang dito, sir. And he said, behold, here am I, my son. And he said, what help a prophet have we from those idols which thou worship, and before which thou dost bow thyself? For there is no spirit in them, for they are dumb forms and misleading of the heart. Worship them not. Worship the God of heaven, who caused the rain and the dew descend on the earth, and does everything upon the earth, and has created everything by sword, and all life is from before his face. Alright, so makikita nyo rin, sinasabi rito sa Jubilees chapter 12 na Terah is sumasamba sa mga graven images. But si Abraham, inihihiwalay niya yung sarili niya. Alright, inihiwalay niya yung sarili niya. Na sinasabi niya rito, ano ang makukuha niyo rito sa mga graven images na to? Alright, what help and profit have we from those idols which thou dost worship, and before which thou dost bow thyself? Ano ang napapala ninyo sa pagsamba, pagpunas-punas sa mga santo? Okay? Gumagaling ba talaga kayo pag pumunta kayo dun sa, alam niyo na kung saan yun? Alright? Nakukuha kayo ng panyo, tapos pupunas-punasan niyo yung mga paa, and ilalagay niyo dito sa mga kasukasuan, pampatanggal ng sakit. Gumagaling ba talaga ang tao sa ganon? Alright? So ito yung sinasabi ni Abraham. Ano ang napapala ninyo? What profit have we from those idols which thou dost worship? Alright? So makita ninyo, sa panahon ni Terah, is they are worshiping idols. Alright? So tatapusin ko po dyan, and I'll go back on my slides. Now, if you remember the time of Joshua, ito po yung sinabi ni Joshua, and I will end on this verse. One of my favorite verses, okay? Joshua chapter 24:15. Nasabi po ng scriptures, and if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahuwah, choose you this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods, the small g, which your fathers serve, okay, yung sinasamba nila Terah, choose you this day kung sino yung pagsisilbihan nyo. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahuwah. Alright? We will serve Yahuwah. Yun po yung sinabi ni Joshua. And ito po yung iiwanan kong verses sa inyo. Dito po ko tatapusin. I hope na we have this conviction. We natatatak sa isipan natin yung verse na to. na kahit anong mangyari, we will serve Yahuwah. Right? Kasi sa forefathers pa lang ni Abraham, sa panahon nila Nimrod, right? When they divided the land, sa panahon ni Nimrod, nang tinayo nila yung Tower of Babel, sumasamba na sila sa mga graven images. But here is Joshua saying, mamili kayo. Whom you will serve? Those idols, those graven images, those small gods, or you will serve Yahuwah. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahuwah. Maraming salamat po and see you on Wednesday. Yahuwah bless you, mga kapatid.
Hello po, magandang gabi. And I hope na tayo po ay maraming natutunan sa lahat ng ating nabasa ngayon. Nakashare pa ba yung screen mo, bro?
Yes, sir. Sorry po.
Opo.
Hindi ko na makita yung sarili ko. Ayun. Naka-live. Naka-ano pala ako. Sorry, naka-full screen pala ako. All right. Thank you so much, Brother Gary. And a lot of information. So we'll just let you digest all that information. Just to give you a recap, we're going to study on Wednesday. We'll go back to Genesis chapter 10. And dyan po magkakaroon ng hatian. All right? The division of lands. And you will see. I mean, I believe Brother Gary will give you a presentation kung makikita nyo. And they're big lands. But you notice also that yung mga buhay po nila ay mahahaba pa din. And I was looking at Israel this morning. If you walk from here to Israel, isipin nyo wala pang passport ha. If you walk from Israel from here nang walang hintuan, it will take you 22 days. So if I double that up, it will take 44 days. And I think it would be possible, and just thinking, okay, isipin mo kasi they were big men, and I believe that they had all the horses and all these transportation that they could use at camels. They even used elephants. Kung babasahin niyo po actually if you read the book of Maccabees, they used elephants as transportation. Although medyo mabagal yun. But you can see how they could divide the land with the amount of years that they lived on the earth. Kahit siguro ako, mabuhay ako ng 600 years kung saan ako makakarating nun. So I hope you will stay with us on that. Two things that I want to emphasize sa mga nabanggit ni Brother Gary, and as you all go back to what we've studied, let me just share this screen. Two things that I want you to understand. First is oaths. Okay? Yung mga pangako. Because today, wala na pong isang salita ang mga tao. If you remember, what happened there is when they divided the land, nagkaroon sila ng pangako, and they made an oath to their father that hindi po kami mag-aaway-away sa lupa. All right? That's why if you go to Matthew chapter 5, and this is very important because Yahushua himself was talking here. Okay? Let me share this screen. Matthew chapter 5. You go to verse 33. Yahushua himself speaking. Again, you have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto Yahuwah thine oaths. And this is very important because in our times, alam nyo, ang tao wala na pong isang salita. And tatagalugin ko to Sa lahat po ng sasabihin natin, we have to make sure that what we say is my integrity. All right? And so many people today, magbabayad ako, tapos mawawala na lang pagdating sa utang. Or even when we see each other, pupunta ako dyan. Or, alam mo yan, it has been innate in our nature to lie. It's been, alam mo yun, napasok na sa tradisyon, sa culture natin to lie on things. But Yahushua himself said, and I hope and pray that we learn from this, because alam nyo kung bakit nagkagulo-gulo ang mundo and why the land was going to be given to Abraham? Because of an oath that Noah said to his children, let's divide this land and don't take the lands of your brothers. Okay? You make sure you take your land, pero wag niyong kukunin yung mga lupa. And what did they say? Ano yung word niya doon? So be it, so be it. So be it, so be it. But then, you can see here, you can see doon sa binasa natin, Ham himself, the father, was telling Canaan, sabi niya, and his brothers, Egypt, Egypt na lang, Mizraim. And his brother said, that's the land of Shem. And Canaan would not move himself, kahit na pinagsasabihan na. And a lot of, these are things that we have to consider. Wag pong unang-una, matigas ang ulo natin. Pangalawa, when you say a word, make sure you will perform it. That's why Yahushua said in verse 34, but I say unto you, swear not at all. Huwag ka na lang mangako. Neither by heaven, for it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king, neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. Huwag kang mangako. Maging dun, di ba? Sometimes we say, we swear to God, hope to die. Don't even say that. Because Yahushua himself said, but let your communication be yea, yea, and nay, nay. Kung kaya mong gawin, gawin mo. Kung hindi mo kayang gawin, huwag mong sabihin, sige, sige, okay, okay, inshallah. Di ba? Gumamit ka pa ng pangalan ng ibang Diyos. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Now, brethren, let's make sure what comes out of our mouth will glorify Yahuwah. Okay, and that will be our topics on Friday, because our topic on Friday is about gossiping as well. Okay, so this is Yahushua's word himself, and I believe his brother, okay, his half-brother, physical brother, has confirmed it. He said in verse 12 of James chapter 5, it says here, but above all things, my brethren. So basically, James, or not really James, his name is Jacob. Jacob is saying, sabi niya, sa lahat ng bagay, mga kapatid, swear not, meaning wag kang mangako. Neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath. That's why when we sign contracts, make sure you abide by that contract. Maging sa mga trabaho po natin. But let your yea be yea and your nay, nay, lest you fall into condemnation. Now, brethren, these are very important words that we have to learn, because a lot of us, including me, am guilty of, alam mo yun, kahit nga yung sinasabi natin, 5 minutes, nandiyan ako. Come on. You can, alam niyo yun, kahit sa oras, we know how to measure things. So when we know we're away for about 1 hour away, tell the truth. Si Google nga, alam, pag may pupuntang ka, alam niya kung gaano katagal eh. Let's tell the truth. When I say 2 minutes, I do my best to be within 2 minutes. And, you know, this is just, you know, marami pong mapag-a-applyan ang konseptong ito. Just make sure that everything that comes out of our mouth will glorify Yahuwah. All right? So I hope and pray that let's not swear. Wag na, when I say swear, wag tayong mangako kung hindi natin kayang tuparin. At kung may pangako tayong hindi matutupad, kaya nga sabi ng Panginoon, wag na tayong mangako eh. Kung hindi natin matutupad, sabihan nyo yung taong pinangakuan nyo. Kasi yan ang isang problema ng tao ngayon. Walang palabra de honor. O, Tagalog yun ha. Actually, Espanyol yun. Wala tayong palabra de honor. Ang mga tao ngayon, walang palabra de honor. And I want us to have that in our mind, that as believers in Yahushua, as believers in Yahuwah, we have to have that mentality that everything that comes out of our mouth should glorify your Father in heaven. Okay, yun na lang. Para at least, pag nangako ka, alam mo na may witness ka sa langit. Okay? And point 2 that I want to establish, and I know that Brother Gary has given us a lot of verses about it, but if you remember our studies, Genesis chapter 1, we got the first mentions, and it shows you the whole picture of Yahuwah's timeline. Now here, Genesis chapter 11 gives you the first mention of Babel. And Babel, which is the same as Babylon, means confusion. Okay? That's why we're studying the book of Genesis, because nandito po lahat ng foundation. Everything is founded in Genesis. And you can see here, when Babel is mentioned, and you will, as you go through the whole scriptures, you can see Babylon in the book of Daniel. You can see Babylon in the book of Revelation. And you can see Babylon in the book of Peter. And sabi nga ni Brother Gary, find out where Peter is when he said, from in the church of Babylon. Okay? Because he was in a land of idolatry, sorceries, and spiritual adultery. That's why I've always told you, history is key. The book of Daniel is also key because you will see there the kingdoms that ruled up to our present age. Okay? Makikita nyo po doon the prophecy of the kingdoms. And the last kingdom is also Babylon. And what is the present Babylon that has given us so much confusion that even your King James Bible has been polluted by the transliteration and translation from Hebrew to Greek to Aramaic to Latin to English, na alam niyo yun, it is only the Spirit that will remove all those confusions. Kung iisa po ang Espiritu natin, I hope and pray that as we go on with our studies, we understand who Babylon is and who has created all this confusion. Why are there so many religions? Kaya nga po tayo, we're going back to Genesis to get the foundational truths. Because when you have the foundation, then you would understand as you go through the whole scriptures, as you go through the whole history from AD 0 to 2020, then when you go to Revelation chapter 18, you will understand. Kaya pala magulo. Kaya pala ang daming relihiyon. Kaya pala hindi ko natin naiintindihan. That's why we start with the book of Genesis. So that we understand why the earth is so confused. Makita nyo pa lang, Genesis chapter 11. They got confused with their language. All right? And what happened? Nag-away-away si Ham, Shem, and Japheth. All right? And idolatry, sorceries, spiritual adultery. Why are we talking about this? Because I want you to understand, ang masusunod pa rin po is Yahuwah. That's the foundation. What did Yahuwah say? What did he say to Noah? What did he say to Abraham? What did he say to Moses? What did he say to David? And with those covenants, you would understand it's the same covenant with Yahusha. Okay? So I hope and pray na sa dami ng pinag-usapan po natin ngayon, sa dami ng binasa natin ngayon, let it digest. All right? Let it digest. If you want, you can read Jubilees chapter 10 and 11. All right? You've got chapter 9, chapter 10, and you've also got, if you want to read chapter 11, those are the chapters of Noah. And in Genesis, read Genesis chapter 10 and 11. Okay? So these are very important names, very important history para mas maunawaan. And I believe you've learned something today, especially kung bakit binalik ng Panginoon si Canaan Bakit? Inagaw siya. Kay Noah pa lang. Di ba? Kay Noah pa lang, sa mga anak ni Noah, inagaw na siya. And what did Yahuwah promise to Abraham? I will give you this land. Because to be honest, it's your land. It was just taken from you. Pero sabi niya, stranger ka ngayon dyan eh. Kasi hindi ikaw ang may-ari niya. Because Canaan took control of it. But you can see how people become covetous. How people, ang dami nating matututunan eh. There are a lot of things that we can learn from this history. And Yahuwah wants us to be straight. He wants us to be righteous. Hindi tayo nang dadaya, hindi tayo nagsisinungaling, hindi tayo nang loloko. These are things that we have to learn, that we have to root out from our system. Kasi maraming magulang na Pilipino, baka isa tayo doon. Okay? So I hope and pray na hindi po tayo lahat parent. I hope we can all be children. Yung parent, yung magulang. Okay? So that's it for this evening. If you have questions, just feel free to ask. And I hope and pray that we can answer those questions. If you do have questions, and stay tuned this coming Wednesday. Pakita nyo po ang hatian ng mundo para alam nyo kung kanino kayo galing. Alright? Para you can know if you're from Shem, Ham, or Japhet. Shem is the firstborn. That's why he is given that land. Okay? Time is up. Nagtutunugan na po ang mga telepono namin for the curfew hours. So, sige po, Brother Gary, please close us in prayer.
All right, let's go to Yahuwah in prayer. Father Yahuwah in heaven, we praise you. Thank you, Panginoon, sa gabing ito na nakapag-aral po ulit kami ng inyong salita, Panginoon. Salamat, Panginoon, sa scriptures na meron kami, sa iniwan niyo pong salita sa amin. And salamat, Panginoon, sa mga kapatid ko na nagpapatuloy po sa inyong gawain. I pray, Father, na anuman po yung mga natututunan namin. I pray, Father, that you enlighten us and pinakita niyo po sa amin yung kung paano nagsimula kung paano po nagsimula ang lahat. And yung mga matututunan namin sa inyong salita, Panginoon. Yung idolatry, pagiging covetous dahil sa maganda yung land. It is still applicable sa panahon namin ngayon, Panginoon, na nagiging covetous yung mga tao dahil sa mga nakikita nila, Panginoon. And I pray, Father, that itinuturo niyo po sa amin na huwag kaming maging ganito, Panginoon. And salamat, Panginoon, sa technology na meron kami ngayon, bagamat hindi kami nakakapagtipon physically, still, nakakapag-aral po kami ng inyong salita and natututo po kami, Panginoon. And I pray, Father, na patuloy niyo po kaming turuan. Kayo po yung magpaunawa sa amin ng lahat ng mga natutunan namin. And banal na Espiritu, kayo po yung magbigay sa amin ng karunungan na naiintindihan po namin ang inyong scriptures, Panginoon. And sa mga kapatid ko na hindi namin kasama ngayon, Panginoon, mga trabaho nasa ibang lugar, Panginoon, nasa Pilipinas, nasa UAE, dito sa Saudi Arabia, at yung mga ibang mga kapatid namin, Panginoon, na hindi po namin kasama. Yung buong pamilya namin nasa Pilipinas, I pray, Father, for your protection para sa kanila. Ingatan niyo po ang bawat isa, Panginoon. Layo niyo po sila sa anumang mga bagay na kumakalat ngayon, sa anumang mga virus na kumakalat ngayon, Panginoon. And I pray, Father, may mga kapatid kami na may mga pinagdadaanan ngayon. Dalangin ko, Panginoon, kayo po magbigay ng strength, kayo magbigay ng comfort para sa mga kapatid ko na may mga pinagdadaanan. And continue to teach us, Father. Patuloy niyo po kaming turuan, patuloy niyo po kaming bigyan ng humble heart, ng tamang puso, na mas kilalanin kayo, mas unawain kayo. And magawa namin yung mga bagay na para po sa inyo, sa ikakadakila na inyong pangalan, Panginoon. Yung buhay namin dito, maintindihan namin, hindi permanente. And sandali lang po. Pray, Father, na yung mga natitirang buhay namin, ibigay po namin sa inyo. I-google namin sa inyo, matutunan namin sumunod sa inyo, Panginoon. And salamat, Panginoon, sa inyong salita na mayroon kami, na napag-aaralan namin, na natututunan po namin. Patuloy niyo po kami palakasin spiritually. Patuloy mo pong pagbuglorin ang aming eklesia. Matindi kami nagkakasama-sama. I pray, Father, bigyan mo kami ng isang pag-iisip, ng isang puso. Mahalin namin ang aming eklesia. na iniwan po ninyo sa amin. Dalangin ko, Panginoon, may mga kapatid kami na malayo po sa inyo. Gamitin niyo po yung buhay namin. Gamitin niyo po kami para makakilala po sila sa inyo, Panginoon. Sa nalalabing oras ng gabing ito, Panginoon, bigyan niyo po kami ng maayos na kapahingahan. Kinabukasan, gisingin niyo po kami na may panibagong kalakasan para makapagsilbi po sa inyo, makapanambahan sa inyo. May pakita po namin na kayo po yung totoong Panginoon. Salamat po sa lahat ng ito. Patawarin niyo po kami kung may mga pagkukulang kami, Panginoon. Patawarin niyo po kami kung may mga bagay kami hindi pa rin nagagawa sa inyo. Ituloy niyo po ito sa amin. Ito po ang aking dalangin sa pangalan ng iyong anak, si Yahushua. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Gary. And just a recap of our schedule of services. Just have a look at that. And Wednesday will actually be a Taglish study. As Brother Gary will be continuing his lesson. And then Friday, I'll be tackling actually Genesis chapter 9. Okay, so we'll just go back to chapters before and recap everything that Brother Gary has discussed on Monday and Wednesday. All right, so I hope and pray that you all learned something today. And I hope and pray that as we get to know, I know it's this is more of teaching sessions kasi mas maganda pong maunawaan natin yung laman ng Biblia kaysa yung sinisigaw-sigawan lang namin kayo ng yung ABC lang. This is, I hope and pray, even for the new ones, this is foundational. And if there's something you don't understand, please do ask. Please do ask. Just message us. Just message us privately or in the chat group or in the comments bar. So at least we know na may mga bagay kayong naguguluhan kayo. We can address that and you can be also a benchmark para alam namin na nakakasunod po kayong lahat. All right. So thank you so much for this evening and good night, everyone. Yahuwah bless you all. And have a good night rest and take care. Mag-ingat po kayong lahat. See you on Wednesday. I love you all and I miss you. Bye-bye.